right, this is 3.2, and this is percent increase, decrease. So there's an important formula that we need to know, and that is this percent change is going to be equal to the change over the original. And that'll make a little more sense when we start practicing it a little more. So let's scroll down, look at the example. Amber got a raise. So a raise is an increase. That's why this would be a percent increase. And her hourly wage increased from $8 to $9.50. What is the percent increase? So first of all, we need to find out how much did that price change. Went from $8 to $9.50, and they worked it out here. It's $1.50 change. Change to $1.50. And we're going to find out our original amount. Our original is what we start out with. It's the beginning. It's not always the first number. It's what you start out with. So what did her pay start out as? It started out as $8. So our formula is change over original. Now this is called percent increase, so we're going to have to find our percent. So how do we change a fraction to a percent? We divide. And we get 0.1875. No, I didn't do that in my head. It's just written below it. And then to change a decimal to a percent, I go over twice. 1, 2. And 90% of the time, we are going to be rounding our percents to a whole percent. So we're going to say that this is a 19% increase. So she got a 19% increase in her pay. Okay, let's look at another example of this. So I'm going to scroll down. And let's look at number 2. A price of pair of shoe increases from 52 to 64. What is the percent increase? So I need to find out how much did it change. Well, from 52 to 64 is a $12 increase. So I'm going to say it's a 12 change. Okay. My original, so that first number is 52. So change over original, change over my original. How do I change that to a percent? I have to divide. And I'm going to use my calculator. And I get 0.2307. So 0.2307. And how do I change that to a percent? I move my decimal over twice. So it was a 23% increase. Okay, so scroll to the next page, and it's percent decrease. Now the good thing about percent decrease is it's done the exact same way as the increase was, except for this time it's decrease. So I need to find my change, and I'm going to need to find my original. David moved from a house that is 89 miles away to his workplace, from his workplace to a house that is 51 miles away from his workplace. What is the percent decrease in the distance? So I'm going to do 89 minus 51 to find out my change, and it changed 38. The original is whatever it started out with, and it started out with 89. So I'm going to do 38 divided by 89. Scroll down so we can see that. Again, divide. So if I were to put this in a fraction, then I would do 38 divided by 89. And I would get 0.427. Move my decimal over twice, and that rounds up to 43. But it would be a decrease this time. You do have to tell me whether it's a decrease or increase. Because that makes a difference if it's going to be an increase or a decrease. But decrease and increase are worked the same exact way. No change in that. All right, let's scroll to the next. Let's go to the next page. Using the percent of change. So the grizzly bear population in Yellowstone National Park in 1970 was about 270. So in 1970, it was 270. Over the next 35 years, it increased by 115%. Increase. Now that's going to be important. What is the population in 2005? So we started out with 270. So we're going to take our original, and we're going to multiply it by our percents. Now all percents have to be changed into a decimal. We can't work with percents in that form. We have to change it to a decimal or fraction. Most of us prefer doing decimals. So I'm going to multiply it times the 1.15. That gives about 311. Now all we've done is we have found the increase. It increased by 311. There originally was 270. So then we have to take, well, there was 270 bears, but it increased, so addition, by 311 bears. So now there's 581 bears there. Now if it had said decreased, we would have subtracted for that problem. So let's look at another one. Let's look at your turn at the bottom. And let's actually do the decreased one because we haven't done a decrease. A TV has an original price of $4.99. So I'm going to take my original, and I'm going to be multiplying it by that percent. Find the new price after the given percent. So we have a 30%, and it is a decrease. So I'm going to change 30% to a decimal. Multiply it. Again, I'm going to, if you want to call it cheating, that's fine. And get out my calculator. I'm going to do 499 times decimal 3. And I get 149.7. So that equals 149.7. Now we're not done. That's not how much the TV is now. It's how much was decreased off of it. So now I have to do 499, and since it is a decrease, I will subtract minus 149.7. So $499 minus $149.70 is $349.30 is how much my TV would now cost.